What's going on YouTube? My name is Josh Washburn of Washburn Fab Co. And today we're going to be taking a look at a Vevor air jack. This air jack is rated for 5 tons or 11,000 pounds. My friends down at Vevor sent me this jack to try out. Right after they shipped it, I actually had my U-joints break on my CRV, so I ended up getting a driveline. So we're going to actually have something to test this out with because I do need to do that driveline. And conveniently enough, Vevor also had the driveline for my car that I needed. This is an airbag jack. I haven't used a jack with an airbag before, so I'm curious to see what it's like. All my other jacks are regular, like hydraulic jacks. So I haven't used it yet. I just opened it up to make sure it was the right package that I was opening. We're gonna open it up the rest of the way, pull it all out, assemble it, use it on the car. I might make a separate video for installing that driveline. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked in the description down below. So there's not too many parts here. We have a bracket that connects these handles together. We have some air fittings as well as a couple of bolts, which it looks like most of the bolts are just to connect that bracket. So I'm gonna open this up and we'll put this together. I'm gonna put this one side all the way together basically. I'm gonna leave the nuts loose, but just so it lines up easier. So I'm just using two 10mm wrenches to tighten all this stuff up. If you don't push them together, it's going to be loose like that. So make sure I'm going to push them together and tighten this side up, this far side. On our main airbag here, we have a hose that comes out. I'm going to run this through the handle and out the bottom. So it looks like we got space. I'm going to go with this spot right here, and I'm going to run it all the way up the neck here and see if we got enough room at the top. Yes, we do. Now that I got that tube in, we're going to take this long bolt and wiggle it right through that slot to the other side. This bolt and nut's a little bit bigger. It's a 12mm, so I'm just going to tighten this up. Not too tight though, because we need to be able to have movement to pull the jack out or pull the handle out and push it back down, or pull it out and move it around so that it locks. So if it's too tight, it's gonna pinch in there and we won't have any play. This is actually a 12 and 13mm. You can see I got it a little too tight. It's a little too hard to get in, right? I can't really push it forward that easy. So I'm gonna loosen that up just a little bit, maybe a half turn. All right, so we got the majority of the assembly done on this. All we have left to do is hook up this air line and put on an air fitting for our compressor on this side. I'm not sure what the actual name of this is, but I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna call it a locking nut, and I'm gonna slide it down the tube, then slip our tube over this little fitting right here. I'm going to slide that back up and tighten that up there. For this air fitting, I'm going to use a little bit of tape. One thing I noticed right away is that it was kind of weird. I was like, how am I going to pull these levers here? Usually these levers only turn 90 degrees. These levers actually turn all the way over. They were just turned over for shipping so that they didn't stick out. So that makes it a lot better. I was a little bit worried about that, but nothing to worry about. So like I mentioned earlier in this video, I've never used an air jack like this where it's an airbag jack. For some reason in my mind, I thought this was gonna be a regular pump handle like a hydraulic jack. And I didn't take into consideration that my air compressor motor is blown. So I'm waiting on a new motor for my compressor, but I have about 60 pounds of pressure in there, which I think is enough to lift this up and check it out. So we'll see what happens. I just had new tires show up for my dump trailer, so we're actually just gonna jack up the dump trailer and get those tires off, get that out of the way before I start working on the CRV. Looking at it on the ground, it rolls pretty nice. I like that the arm actually swings on it when you have pressure on it, so the handle's not locked out in a certain position like a normal jack would be. Here's my new tires. There's my old tires. Yeah, long overdue. Let's get this thing jacked up. Yep, a little bit over 60 pounds on the compressor. I think it'll be enough to get her jacked up. Let's see. Before I lift up the trailer, I want to measure the clearance of the jack when it's down and the clearance of it up and see how much room it has for travel. So right here, it sits at about 6.5 inches of clearance. I'm gonna hook this up, see how high we can get it. Damn, that's tall. I don't want to go any higher than that. I'm not too familiar with these, all right? All the way extended, we have about 18 inches. So what is that? That's like 12 inches of travel. That's pretty good. It has a really nice slow release on here. It's not like it's just dumping out. I'm pretty sure it'll dump out if I pull this other one. All right, let's take her up, see how she does. Oh, I'm a little crooked. This might be a little tricky. I'm doing this with one jack. So you can also pull this middle valve to get it to go down faster, because once there's not a lot of pressure on it, there's not much pushing that air out of that airbag. All right, hopefully this is the magic spot. If not, I'm gonna have to get some jack stands. All right, guys, overall, this is a pretty sweet air jack here from Vevor. If you'd like to purchase one, there'll be a link down below in the description. Anytime you use one of the links down below in the description, I get a little bit of commission off of it, which motivates me to keep doing videos. It's not much, but it's nice to have a little bit of payment coming in from doing these videos. Life's pretty busy for me. I hardly have time to do anything. I have 2 businesses and I'm working on a nonprofit right now. So getting to do videos is a little bit tricky. I was pretty impressed with how easy it went up. I was kind of worried that I only had 60 pounds in the compressor, but it was no problem. I think we went up and down maybe 5 or 6 times, and it did all right. So I'm happy with it. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.